Welcome back. Deer hunting season is almost here with nearly 2.5 weeks left until October 1st. But with the new season comes new changes for hunters. 12 News' Connor Thompson spoke to the Department of Environmental Conservation about these changes and why they're beneficial.
Ask any hunter across the southern tier and they'll tell you the day they look forward to the most. October 1st, or more specifically, the first day of hunting season. While that date is quickly approaching, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation has changed tagging requirements for hunters across the state.
We're switching from Valeron tags to paper tags, which can be printed at home. And the other change is that you're no longer required to wear a back tag this hunting season.
Big game biologist for the DEC, Brendan Curion, says that New York State is one of the last states to switch to paper tags and that the tags are better for the environment because of no longer using the plastic from the old system. With this new system, Curion says that it will increase participation because it is dramatically decreasing the wait time for hunters to get their tags.
There was a delay, and so that prevented hunters from getting out in the woods as soon as possible. And so with this change, hunters don't have to wait anymore to get their tags. They can print them and head a field as soon as they have them in hand.
Curion says that it's the hunter's responsibility to take care of the tags, so he suggests using a cover to keep all the important information legible. The back tag change is in the same boat as the deer tag change. As Curion says, it allows hunters to have one less thing to worry about.
We were one of the last states that still required a back tag or hunters to wear a back tag while afield. So this is again an attempt to modernize our current licensing system. And it's just one less thing hunters need to do.
Hunting licenses will be available to purchase throughout the hunting season, but Curion says that certain tags, such as the Deer Management Program, has an October 1st deadline. More information can be found on our website, wbng.com. Connor Thompson, 12 News, Broome County.